as loud as I am. So Phil, yes we can. So they hear us fine, Phil. Why don't we just do an audio then, and let's not panic.
Yeah, that's perfect then.
Okay, brilliant.
We'll do that.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. So so first of all, you're very welcome, and thank you so much for joining. And we'll figure out the video another time. But you're very welcome. And Phil, if you'd like first to introduce yourself and then introduce maybe Viridian and what it's about, and we usually do about half an hour, and then we might talk a bit about essential fatty acids, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Phil. I've been working for Viridian for around about 3 years now. So I've got quite a good rounded knowledge in terms of Viridian, who we are, how we do things, and the ethics behind things, really. So it's really something that I've learned a lot about in the supplements industry. So coming from a public health perspective, when I was working on the diabetes prevention program, it really opened my eyes as to what supplements can do for individuals. So I've got a master's in nutritional science as well. So it really does open up your eyes in terms of how you can put supplements into the public health perspective and find ways of improving people's health. So it was really fascinating going into that and learning everything around it. So, but in terms of Viridian, we have stories behind our nutrients. We aren't just one of those companies that put something in a capsule and just sell it for cheap for as many as we can. So we're always looking for the best quality ingredient that we can physically find. So we have so many stories of us actually going away to kind of countries where we're sourcing ingredients and being taken into the middle of nowhere to find the really good ingredients. So a story that comes to mind is when we were looking for our pine bark, we were taken right into the depths of the forests in Finland, just to go and see where all this native pine bark was being grown. So it's really amazing when you get to see it all come to life like that, and then look into the research around these products, and then be able to then give it out to people and see the difference, really. So we really do see the benefits of using these natural ingredients in our products. So it's quite fascinating understanding how that all interacts and how we can really source those best ingredients to better somebody's long-term health as well. So that's really the key, and we are all passionate at Viridian to look after people's health and educate people and give people the right information. So we don't want to just give things for the sake of selling it. We want to make sure that person or that individual is getting the best nutrients that they can get for themselves, whether it's a certain condition, whether it's just a certain part of their life that they're trying to kind of improve. So there's so many different avenues that you can go to, and it's understanding that personalisation is key. We aren't just looking at kind of one size fits all. It is personalisation. So, and we're always confident that we can find something that will work for somebody, but we are always looking for the best quality ingredients as well.
Yes, indeed, and I can really confirm it. And I obviously every time we are getting new products from you, we get the technical data sheet, and it's also transparent, and it's absolutely wonderful. And actually, that now that we have the essential fats with us today, I think the latest edition was the black seed, and also there was some stories about farmers that you get that wonderful product from. So maybe we can look a little bit into the good fats and why are they essential, who are they essential to, and then how do we distinguish what we need or what we're going to do and why.
Yeah, so absolutely. So in terms of taking fatty acids, I'd say they're up there with your fundamental nutrients that you need in terms of supplementation. I think in a society we are very, very skewed in terms of our ratios naturally. So we know that in the Western population we naturally consume far more omega-6 fatty acids, and it's a lot harder to consume those essential omega-3 fatty acids as well. But is understanding how we can incorporate them back into our lives, what the benefits of taking them actually are, and how they really do improve health. So in terms of what we've seen in research, we've seen heart health, we've seen mental health, we've seen improvement in liver function as well, but also we're looking at recovery and sports performance and managing inflammation as well. So omega-3s play a huge role in just general health. Now, in a westernised population, it's been kind of said that we're around about a 16-to-1 ratio of omega-6 to omega-3. Now, that's so far skewed out of proportion of what we should naturally be. So ideally, we want to get back down to a 1-to-1 ratio of omega-3 to omega-6.
Okay.
But even just getting down to 4-to-1 has been shown to reduce the disease risk by 70%, which is huge if we think about how easy that would be to kind of help manage so many health conditions as well. So it is really key to understand how they play a role, what they can do, and how they can really kind of benefit us in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and so if we think of maybe foods first, or daily diet, that would be the first balancer, I guess, to get even a quarter of those omega-3 fatty acids, or the ratio better. So what foods can we eat that are not too exotic and have a good quality that would help there already?
So we've got so many around us already, so we already know how good fish oil is, and eating fish is the best way of getting the omega-3s fatty acids into our body. So the EPA and DHA within there are only really found in fish and algae. So when fish, well, basically they are the middlemen for carrying the omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA, because they eat the algae, and then it gets dispersed into their kind of the layers of their body, basically. So you can get vegan forms of EPA and DHA. It is a lot more expensive, but you can still get those EPA and DHA. But in terms of fish oil, that is the most natural way of consuming those two forms of fatty acids. Now, the reason why they're so essential is because they're very specific in how they actually kind of work within the body. So EPA can help reduce mental health issues. It can help produce kind of a lot of chemicals as well throughout the body. So it's really an essential nutrient we can only get from fish oil as well. And then you've also got DHA, where kind of in terms of brain development and function, it's crucial. So it basically embeds itself into the cell membranes within our body, within our brain. So it basically kind of goes into the phospholipid bilayers that are protecting all of our cells and the integrity of our cells, and you find one of the highest concentration within there as well. So it is key to understand the EPA and DHA. Now, you can convert some of the omega-3 from alpha-linoleic acid into EPA and DHA. So flaxseed, for instance, is really high in this form of omega-3. So you can convert, but it's very, very minimal. So you would always want to, so if you're a vegan, vegetarian, and you don't consume very much fish, or you can't get hold of vegan EPA and DHA, you can take omega-3 from flaxseed, but it will be a very low turnover into EPA and DHA. So the benefits of omega-3 in terms of EPA and DHA, a lot of the research is generally on those two forms of fatty acid substances. So it is crucial to understand where you can get these two forms of omega-3 fatty acids into the body, and how much you should be having, and how kind of often you should be having them as well. So there's something that's essential to the body. We need to be having them every day to help improve our overall turnover of brain kind of functions and the kind of the chemicals that are being produced as well. So it is really important to kind of look at where we can consume more omega-3 and more EPA and DHA specifically.
so and does it matter which kind of fish? I know that our Viridian fish oil is from the organic rainbow trout.
Yes.
And then of course it is a completely sustainable fish that you have. We know that anyhow, so there's no overfishing or any endangered species being used. But if I wanted to eat some fish, does it matter, or is there a type of fish that I would do better with?
So in terms of different people, so pregnant females, they get told to avoid kind of real not bait fish, but the predator fish basically. So they're the ones that are going to be higher in toxins and minerals because they're eating the kind of the lower grade fish basically, who have slightly more kind of toxin build-up. And so the lower down the food chain you go, the lower toxins there actually are, which is why there's been a big increase in krill oil. But krill oil really isn't a sustainable way of kind of incorporating fish oil or getting that EPA and DHA. So it's still something I would always want to avoid that side of things. But looking for fish oil, the most natural forms of fish oil are the best way of actually consuming omega-3 fatty acids into the body, because your body can break them down naturally. So you can get concentrated forms of EPA and DHA, but you kind of don't get the same added benefits of an organic virgin fish oil, basically. So when you're taking a virgin fish oil or a completely unheated fish oil, you're retaining all of the antioxidants. You're maintaining all the minerals and nutrients within there as well. So you see a real higher density of nutrients in a kind of a fish oil that hasn't had to be highly heated to get rid of the toxins and heavy metals and minerals that would be associated with kind of sea-derived fish oil, for instance. So that's the benefit in taking a fish oil that is organically produced and is from fresh water where there's lower toxins as well.
Yes, I understand. Yeah, that makes total sense. And if we compare that now, for example, to say a hemp seed oil or even the black seed oil, so when would I choose one over the other? Say I've had maybe taken my fish oil, and often we would say if you haven't had fatty acids, start on the fish oils for the simpler pathways with inflammation and so on. And then I want to maybe continue on with some plant oils. What's the difference there? Say hemp, black seed, pumpkin seed, those, or the blends.
So they're all different in their own way. So flaxseed is really high in omega-3, whereas you're looking at hemp seed and pumpkin seed being slightly higher in omega-6. Now, I know I've already spoken about omega-6 and omega-3 ratio, and as long as people aren't following a heavily processed diet, they aren't on a really kind of really bad diet, basically, like westernized processed diet, then you should be absolutely fine taking omega-6 fatty acids, and they all offer really good benefits in terms of what they can provide for the body as well. So pumpkin seed oil, we know how good that is for kind of androgen function, so specifically in male health, where we're looking at kind of nocturnuria, where you're kind of going to kind of urinating in the night and stuff like that. So even that provides really high nutrients within there that kind of offer a lot of benefits as well, but they are higher in omega-6. But if we've got a kind of control around our fatty acids, then we can be supplementing omega-6s. Now, we also have a bit of a population bias towards kind of fats and carbs, and we've always been told to have lower fats, and that still seems to be the way of thinking of way people lose weight. So we know how many popular weight kind of loss programs there are. I won't mention any names, but we know that they're mostly focusing on kind of low fat and kind of carbs and protein. So people who are on those sort of diets, they can really benefit from taking a good source of omega-6s as well, because they're generally going to be quite low in these essential fatty acids. So omega-3 and 6 are both essential fatty acids that we need to be consuming from our diet. So it's quite key to understand how they play a role. But kind of my black seed is probably up there again with one of my favourite fatty acids in terms of the level of research that is on it is huge, and we're seeing more and more develop as well. So we've updated more products as well in terms of using it for topical use as well. But it works as an anti-inflammatory. It can improve kind of sinus, so improving allergic rhinitis as well, so hay fever symptoms. So there's so much evidence around that, and it's down to a potent little bioactive known as thymiquinone in black seed, and it's quite powerful. And we've seen in terms of the research what it can do. So in terms of diabetes, we've seen it in cardiovascular disorders, we've seen it in joint pain as well. So there's quite a lot of evidence on it, and just improving the kind of that overall function as well in terms of joint pain and improving movement, improving quality of life symptoms as well. So it's quite kind of amazing, the research that we've seen on it, and it just keeps developing as well. But fatty acids are a fundamental kind of nutrient that we all need to be consuming, and whether you don't like kind of eating fish, if you don't like eating nuts and seeds, olive oil and avocados, for instance, then taking an oil is going to be an essential thing for that individual, because they offer so much benefit for skin health, cardiovascular health, brain function, joint health. It's just endless, really, in terms of where they play a role.
Yeah, and they actually do do speed up weight loss, don't they? Because in a sense, because they don't stick to each other, like it doesn't stick in the body or in the blood, it seems to help shape that waistline a bit quicker, and not allow the bad fats to stick to each other either, from what I understand.
Well, it makes your body work more efficiently. So the more efficient your body is, the more the better you are at utilizing calories.
Yes.
And then your body's then kind of providing everything around the body. You're protecting your cells. Your blood is thinner, so it's kind of flowing around the blood. I mean, around the vessels far easier as well. So generally, it just improves your metabolism, so you can actually utilize all your nutrients.
Yeah, and faster metabolism always results in speedier weight reduction or release, as we would like to call it, maybe. And yes, and actually I have a friend here in Ireland. He is originally from Libya. And he said to me, in the times we live in, he said to me, Susan, you must eat black seed. We eat that every day now, with honey, to prevent any viral infections and to increase the immunity. And I thought, look at that, it's traditionally, and of course it does come also, I think it's sourced from Egypt.
Yes. Yes.
So just that Northern African area, or even Central Africa, it's a very traditional food that's just part of the diet, as maybe for us is maybe a flaxseed or something like that. It's very common in those countries, and so that I found that very interesting. And
well, flaxseed was actually found in Tutankhamun's tomb. Supposedly. So
Tutankhamun's,
it just shows you the value.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, it's really amazing. Now it's absolutely fantastic. Now, the fats have always been favorites of mine. And in liquid form, would you feel that the liquid form is always the better or easier way for the body to make use of it?
Yeah, so you can get a better dose. Rather, I presume you're kind of meaning around capsules.
Capsules. Comparison to capsule and liquid form, or one would imagine that the liquid form would give quicker absorption, maybe, or availability.
Well, it's a more natural way of getting it into the body. Exactly. But taking in capsules, you're still going to get it. It's just going to take a little bit longer. Yeah. But you're going to have to take far more capsules to the equivalent oil. So I think I would always go to the oil side of things, and because it's just take it by the spoon, get it done. I know, and it's not the nicest thing. Everyone remembers when they were kids and taking cod liver
Cod
oil
liver oil,
capsules and always getting that horrible feeling later on. But if you get a good quality fish oil, you shouldn't get that kind of repeating
gag
on you.
reflex.
So
yeah. But also it can be.
Sorry.
Once we don't heat it, and I mean, I find it quite easy even in a smoothie, or it's the consistency more than the taste really. It's that oiliness, and water or saliva just doesn't mix.
Yeah.
So I guess if we put it in a salad dressing or in a smoothie, it's actually quite easy to ingest rather than having it neat or dressings. Yeah. Or even over. I often say, in Ireland, instead of melting butter over your potato, put a spoon of the oil after it's on the plate.
Absolutely.
Put on the pasta or on the potato or rice. Yeah. That's wonderful, Phil, and I'm really delighted to have you do this with us. It's just so fantastic, and sometimes we forget our oils, and I wanted to give them the stage because they are so important. And lately it's been all about vitamin D and zinc and so on. But we tend to forget how important the fats are for our health as well.
I haven't even focused on the immune health, so that's a whole other category as well.
There you go, and then the brain and the stress, of course, that's been going on, so I really appreciate it. And when people, I see someone here is asking me to come on, and if that's okay, I see if that person would like to come on, and if they have any questions, would that be okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let me just see if the Leonie is wanting to come on, or if it was an accident. That can happen too. And okay, adding now. Let's see. But it's absolutely wonderful, and technology. We'll figure it out for the next time and for the next topic.
Viridian needs to savvy up on the technology side of things.
That's
Although
okay.
You've done everything, and then you get another one, and it just doesn't happen.
Yeah. Look, it happened to us. It happened to us also in our first session. We had a little bit. We were on the wrong page and the right page, and so on. So I don't get flustered about it. It's just what it is, and it's wonderful. So I think that that might have been accidental ask, but definitely when I invite everyone to have questions, and even if they follow, I'll get in touch with you if that's okay. And then we can, she says accident, and then we can still answer those questions. So Phil, let me, first of all, thank you so much for your time. So appreciate it.
No problem at all.
And Phil is also a very good looking man, and it's a pity I can't present him to you live. And of course, very, very qualified.
I wanted to hide myself.
Maybe that's what it was. You were camera shy. It was a stage fright.
Okay,
right. That is no problem.
People in the physical side for a while. So.
Okay, that's okay. Well, we're trying to bring you back into the world of the living, of the real people. So we'll certainly do that again. So Phil, I'd like to thank you so much for coming in and giving us the phone option. And next time we will definitely figure this out, and would love to have you again.
I would love to come back as well.
Thank you so much. So have a great weekend. And
thank you.
Thank you. And we'll talk to you again.
Thank you very much. I'll speak soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Phil.
Have a good weekend. Bye now.
You too. Bye. So that was Phil Beard from our beautiful Viridian Nutrition supplier. And the one time I'd prefer it to be really overcast and cloudy. Of course, the sun is splitting the rocks, and my screen keeps going dark automatically, but so be it. So I hope you could hear Phil, and the good fats from Viridian are all available in store in 200 ml or 500 ml, and we'll be very happy to go through the differences with you, but ultimately taking any of them is better than taking none. So if you have any questions, send text, ring us, call in, on best of all, and as usual we'll answer them for you. And so I would like to thank you for watching, and if you're not on the email list, You can join the email list as well if you want to drop your email address in, maybe by direct message, or get in touch with us. Of course, we won't do it publicly, but there is. I'm sending these videos also by email to my list, and you can do that. And it will be also saved here on Facebook for you to share and to comment. And I would like to thank you and see you next Friday. And we are confirmed next Friday with Oliver McCabe, celebrity chef, and also a consultant of another one of our suppliers. The week after then we are going to have Ghost Omega, Paula Gaynor from Ghost Omega, a West Cork based Irish company who are food scientists and have brought us a wonderful range of vitamin C, D, and also some good fats. And the week after, I just confirmed today, will bring us Sabrina, and she is our partner in Austria from Sonnentor, and we'll be learning a lot about herbs and spices and their wonderful teas. So I wish you a wonderful afternoon and weekend, and talk to you hopefully next Friday, which will be Good Friday, live at 3 with Oliver McCabe and me, and someone special and me. And if you have suggestions and like me to bring particular companies or people on, please let me know. Appreciate you all, and thank you for your time. Over and out. Bye.